Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode here on the channel. My name is Chris Allen VGC, co-villain on the Wandering Legends podcast, Pokemon professional shit talker, and draft league champion times one. Today we got Sam with me, the guy who almost ruined my draft league championship.
Almost.
And we're going to look at the draft for season two here. He did the other one with me. I'm going to let Sam introduce himself.
Yeah, I'm Sam Wakeman. I've been playing VGC for. I started January of 2020, so like just about a year now. Um, so yeah, Gen 8 was my first Pokemon game that I like really played through. I've always liked Pokemon. Like as a kid, I collected the cards, and I've always been into it. But yeah, so I'm relatively new, but
I do like that. I think that Gen 8 made it a lot easier for new players to get in the VGC because
yeah,
it's not a hassle for the breeding or the EVs. And like the rental codes made it so much nicer to just have like to actually use and see and get a feel with
yeah.
like top quality players teams made it
Mhm.
so much easier for others to start learning. I think it was really
I
cool
mean,
for
you
that.
act you act like I breed anything.
Yeah, like it was just and then like breeding itself was just so much easier and like the
Yeah,
bots and stuff are so much easier this gen,
yeah.
and I like it. I definitely think Gen 8 has made the Pokemon competitive scene a lot more crazy.
Yeah, and I think like stuff being online lately is like I'm sure like it sucks to not have in-person events, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if it's gotten more people into it just because it's out there on the internet more.
I would 100% agree with that. I mean, like, because I played VGC prior to just this year, and like, there was sometimes where I just didn't have the ability to go to an event to try it, like a regional, and you just sometimes it just doesn't line up. We all have real
Yeah,
jobs and lives, and you can't
yeah,
drive 9 hours to play Pokemon on a Saturday.
yep.
um. So, anywho, today we're going to go over the post draft analysis. So, uh, what we're going to do first is we're going to go through here and we're just going to go left to right, Eastern Conference, Western Conference. We're going to take turns here. Sam's going to list off Chris. I'm going to list off Peter, so on and so forth. And we're going to say the Pokemon, and then we're just going to talk about the team itself, things we might expect, strategies we could see, and kind of just an overall feel of everyone's team.
All right, so starting off in the Eastern, we got Chris here. Um, so you had the 17th out of 18 picks. So you were like almost able first round to grab like the two-piece combo, basically guaranteed, and you got the Spectre Clefairy, which is obviously like super scary because it's such an offensive threat, but then you can also run like Will-O-Wisp Snarl stuff on Spectre. Obviously, Clefairy, like redirection in general, is so good in draft, but like Clefairy especially, giving the friend guard to its allies and stuff. Um, I like your trick room options. Like all your tier threes, Golisopod, Bronzong, Caparaja are all good trick room options. I had Bronzong last season and it put in a lot of put in a lot of work for me. Uh, not just clicking ally switch, but that was a lot of it. Um, and even like your low tier picks, like Frostlass, I know is like gets a ton of like support moves like Thunder Wave, and I think it gets Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah, it gets
Can't be fake.
trick two or switcheroo or one of the
Yeah,
two.
yeah. Can't be faked out because it's a ghost type. Unless Kangaskhan, but Kangaskhan's not. Nobody drafted that. Uh, I know you have a affinity for Excelgor after last season. Um, I know you Dynamaxed it a couple times, which is not something people expect to see. But um, and then your tier fives too, like Meowstic female. I know is not the one that most people would pick if they're going for Meowstic, but it gets like competitive. Does it get competitive?
Well, Meowstic female gets prankster.
Yeah. Oh, maybe I've got them switched then.
Yeah, Meowstic female is it has. Oh wait, no, hold on.
I think male has prankster.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm double checking this because I think I might have drafted the wrong one. Not paying attention.
I mean, like female or male Meowstic was tier 3.
Yeah, it's competitive. So
Yeah.
raising a special attack whenever one of its stats are lowered.
Hmm.
So bulldoze back here next to max Meowstic.
That actually, I don't think that works. You can't. I don't think you can set your own competitive. At least I don't think so.
We're gonna find out. That's a new
Yes, we
draft
are.
tech we discovered here, guys.
Like it says whenever a stat is lowered, but I'm like 99% sure. I remember asking someone like, "Why don't I just bulldoze next to my Lodic and just keep boosting it?" And someone's like, It's not how it works." But
Yeah, I'm looking at his move pool. It doesn't get fake out, which is actually cool.
yeah, that's nice, and it's base 104 speed, which is cool.
It gets everything I would want out of it. I mean, you get fake out, you get
Mhm.
sucker punch, and you can run screens as well. It's not prankster
Yeah.
screens, but you still have them.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Competitive. Bulbapedia says when the stat of a Pokemon with this ability is lowered by an opponent.
Oh,
Yeah. I guess that would be kind of silly, honestly.
well, it'll be cool for all these intimidates out here in this draft.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people grabbed Intimidates. So, and then, honestly, I don't really know what a Molga does.
Amolga is actually a Pokemon World Champion.
I
Uh,
do know that, which is crazy
it,
because it's not a good Pokemon.
it's really not great. It has motor drive, which is kind of cool. So if it's hit by an electric type move, it can raise speed. Which
I like, sorry, go ahead.
I grabbed it late because it's tier 5. There wasn't a lot there.
Yeah.
Um, Rhydon was already gone. Uh, Flareon I just didn't love, but I had already taken Wishy Washy, who is water type. Golisopod, who is weak to water type. So it gives me the opportunity to try and get a switch in and
Yeah.
take a motor drive. And I mean, if you're raising your speed, so if you do get that switch in, raise it, or run next to anything with like a discharge spam. If I pick something up in free agency, I can raise the speed, and he can max airstream.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, it's base 103 speed. Gets rising voltage, roost, eerie impulse. I mean, it's kind of like Raichu light to me.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously not nowhere. It's nowhere near as good as Raichu, but it
yeah.
gets
I
light
mean,
screen but not reflect. That's goofy.
and two times weakness. It's only weak to two things: ice and rock, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Both with
That
two
the
times.
defensive typing is great. I mean,
So
with these defensive stats, you're not living much, but put a sash on it. There you go.
and I mean it gets nuzzle. So like honestly, come out nuzzle something, you're fine. You can use something like that. You could use
Hmm.
you mentioned rising voltage and charm is the other big thing, especially in a
I was
meta
gonna
with
say that. Yeah.
big physical attackers. A lot of people like to Dynamax turn one. That's cool. I'll just lower your attack by 2 stages, and now your max is almost worthless.
Yep.
So, and it gets helping
Yeah.
hand, which is also cool. Um, but yeah. So overall, decent draft, I feel.
Yeah. I like your draft a lot. I mean, honestly, like that tier 1 and 2 combo Spectre Clefairy is just like once you get something like that, all you kind of need to draft is just like you can just draft around that, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean it's a combo that can just play, right? Like
Yep.
you can change items around. You can just go Scarf Spect here next to Clefairy, and if you're facing something that's usually faster, but you want outspeed, you can run your normal one with a sash. You can run whatever. It allows a lot of flexibility and do damage. But I was happy with my 3 and 4s because I got a
Yeah.
really nice trick room option here with, Galissapod. We all know Galissapod can be a monster in trick room.
I do know that.
Brazong is super bulky. It has great coverage. It gets heat crash. It gets power whip. It gets it's steel spike, and then it gets ground, so you can max quake to raise those defensive stats even more.
Yep.
Very good mon for assault vest, weakness policy tech, uh, and then adding on wishy washy is also wishy washy has base 140 attack, and it
Yeah.
only goes to it loses schooling after on the following subsequent turn after you do the damage. So like if I ran that next to a follow me and you chipped it for 2-3 turns, that's fine. I can max him and use that 140 attack as basically what a restricted legendary is doing
Yeah.
with it, wasting a tier 4 pick. I was
Yeah.
cool with it.
Yeah. I think that's a great option for sure.
Um, but yeah, so that's mine.
Hmm.
Now looking at Peter. Oh, my rival. So first and foremost, we see Peter took a restricted. He took Zacian. I think everyone did know he was going to take Zacian because he avoided or any high tiers, and he went straight down, and he took Togepi in tier 5 right away. Um,
Yep.
but I did like the way it ended. He got Torn T, he has Audino, he has Zacian, he has Ditto, Guzzlord for bulky, he has Torracat, which is a really nice Eviolite option and Intimidate option. He has the
Yeah.
Sock for some fighting coverage, and he has Orbeetle, which does get beat up next to Mudsdale.
Oh, it gets beat up. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm about 98% sure Orbeetle gets beat up.
And he got that Tornadus T can set Tailwind. Yeah.
So
Aldino, I'm not sure what Aldino does.
not too much in VGC, I feel. I mean it's normal, so it's weak to one of the most common typings, which is a little bit
Yeah.
but it does
Yeah.
get, I'm pretty sure it gets like helping hand, life do type tech.
Yeah. Like
I don't know.
yeah, baby doll eyes, life doll or life do after you, elemental punches for some reason. Gets screens. Yeah. It gets trick room. I did not know that.
Klutz, regenerator, healers for the abilities.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's like strangely a lot of coverage for no reason.
it gets yawn too. That's really good offensive pressure. Thunder wave.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He also gets icy wind too because like a lot of his team, some of it's trick room, but a lot of it's not trick room. So he can icy wind for even more speed control beyond just tailwinds. He can run attracts. Yeah, wow.
It
Actually,
also
not
gets ally switch. It gets ally. That's really weird to me, but
everything gets Alice, but ooh,
yeah.
it gets skill swap. Um, so basically, yeah, it gets skill swap.
Oh.
So it can give you Klutz, and then your abilities are
Oh
useless. So
shoot. Oh
it's a
man.
really nice way to shut down like weakness policy, life orb tech, or whatever.
Yeah. I like that. That's dope.
I like his draft. I feel this draft from him is less scary to me than the last season
I agree.
because like Prim and Cinderace were both
Yeah.
just they are both two very big monsters, and it was kind of like who do you lose to? Because he had a really nice fire, water, grass comp core, and
Hmm.
he had a really good support around it with his team. And this one, I feel, well, it's still deadly. Zacian is Zacian, but it's also
Yeah.
one of those things that it's a physical attacker. There's a lot of ways to lower it. Um, it's mainly going to be there to scare people from maxing too crazily, but beyond that, Guzzlord's pretty brittle. I mean, it could be bulky, but it doesn't have a lot of offensive power.
Yeah. I think like I'd say one of my main concerns about his team is like outside of Mudsdale, it doesn't seem like he has super great Dynamax options. Um, Like Mudsdale and Guzzlord, I'd say, are probably his best. I mean, Tornadus T can work too.
Yeah, Tornadus
But like,
T,
I mean,
Guzzlord.
you can't max Zacian. You're not maxing Torracat, Ditto, or Beetle, Togepi, or Sock. Maybe Sock, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
yeah, I considered taking Zacian early on because I thought it was going to get picked, and I didn't like that it couldn't Dynamax personally. I
I
don't think
mean,
it's a bad pick by any means. I just personally I like the Dynamax threat.
I think Zacian. It hurts. It hurts knowing that it can't max because you're almost forced to use a protect every single time that the opponent has something that can use fake out.
Yeah. Yep.
So that gives the opponent, I feel, a little bit extra kind of motivation or leeway because now like you have to protect to get rid of fake out or else Zacian dies. It's not bulky at all.
Yep.
I mean, and because it's not maxing, that's not going to be something you want your AV on or whatever. So, and if you get double tapped, the sash doesn't matter anyway. So it almost means like you're going to give your opponent a free 2v1
I mean,
every
and he
game.
can't even run items like that because of he needs the rusted sword to really be good anyway.
Exactly. It's got to have
Yeah.
that the thrusted sword to become the
I
crown
mean,
form.
I would not be surprised at Peter at all if he ended up bringing like normal base form Zacian at some point. Like knowing him, I would not be surprised. But I think that like that is not as much of a threat as Crown Zacian.
And crown Zacian is a huge threat in singles, but in doubles with the extra fake out double tap technique,
Yep.
it gets cut down a little bit. Plus the fact that you could have dual intimidate switching in or intimidate charms, it can be crippled very easy, and it's a
Yeah.
physical attacker. So a burn, for example, not good.
Hmm.
All right.
All right. So next up we got Omar. So he took his restricted Calyrex Ice Rider. I think he took this pretty late. I remember he and Peter didn't take any tier 1 or tier 2 slots for like till almost the end of the draft. I think Calyrex Ice is like phenomenal in draft. Like it's just so bulky. Like literally your only option when it Dynamaxes is just stall it out and kill it when it's small. Because like you're not, especially if it's got a weakness policy, like you're just not killing it. Um, and it has like a ton of weaknesses, so like it's not hard to just let them hit, like get your weakness policy off for you. It also sets its own trick room, so if he has a game where he's like, well, I really want my, I don't know, my min speed Swampert to like go in and trick room, he can just run Calyrex max bulk, like all bulk, and just set trick room with it.
Yeah, and he has Thwacky. Same benefit with Torracat. It's an Eviolite, fake out, grassy
Yep.
glide, a priority move, which lets it focus in and out of trick room. Um,
He's got the Clefable for redirection. Obviously not as good as Clefairy, but I mean, in tier 3, it's still super solid.
and I think that'll probably be one of his more favorite combos with the Clefable and the Calyrex,
Yep.
just to trick room, follow me, set up, and try and sweep.
Yep. For
Um,
sure.
Elder
I know
Gra-
Swoobat gets skill swap simple, doesn't it?
Yep.
So if you, I mean, maybe you don't want to get rid of, never mind. I was gonna say maybe you could swap simple onto Calyrex Ice to give him like double defense boosts off his max moves, but you probably don't want to get rid of Chilling Nay.
Yeah. I mean, but you could also, I think simple is a good way to shut down opposing glass
Yeah.
tiers or
Hmm.
certain things like that.
Hmm.
Let's see what else here. Hitmonlee is really nice because it's really easy speed control with Unburden.
Yep. Gets fake out, gets like all the punch moves in the game basically. And I like Hitmonlee because like I believe it should get like bullet punch and stuff like the other Hitmons do. Um because I think that's on all of them. So we can bullet punch into his Calyrex for weakness policy. Does it get bullet punch? It gets wide guard, which is super good. I mean, I'd say, yeah, it does get bullet punch. But yeah, being able to like shut down spread moves and do it whenever you want, like it's not like protect where you have to wait every other turn. So having wide guard, I know he also has wide guard on Swampert too. So like, you know,
It also
uh,
gets coaching.
oh yeah, it does. Oh wow, unburdening coaching next to, like, I know people used to run fake out normal gem. So you fake out turn one, the normal gem goes off, and then you're super fast, and then the next turn you can like coach your stuff up.
Yeah. I think Omar's team's one of those ones that it can go off very easily. I mean, first of all, Unburden's an amazing ability in Draft League, especially as a
Yep.
late game cleaner. I mean, I used it against you with the Selgor in the finals. I ran Focus Fast as Selgor because I didn't need to outspeed. I wanted a guaranteed way to outspeed you in the back game.
Yeah.
So it was like I can take one hit from whatever Venusaur goes for, guaranteed with a Focus Sash. Now I'm going to max speed and special attack, and I could even outspeed you in the sun. And
Yeah.
it's I think it was about a 2-hit KO with Bug Buzz.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3, I can't remember.
But it did quite a bit.
Yeah.
So it's just Unburden is very good in draft leagues, and
Mhm.
then like adding coaching, wide guard when he does go up against a Kyogre team, and it actually isn't in his division.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this team. Mr. Mime Galler is decent too, gets fake out. Screen Cleaner is nice against some of these teams.
And he has wheezing, which is just a very easy way to shut down a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Come in, delete all
Yeah.
their abilities, and just go burr.
Yeah, and the nice thing there is he can bring Calyrex wheezing and it won't shut down Calyrex's ability.
Yeah, I forgot about
Which
that.
is, I don't know why. I think it's really weird that it works like that, but I know there's other abilities that it doesn't cancel out too. But that's like, I think that's really scary. You can't intimidate Calyrex then. Um, and again, like all Wheezing has to do is just sit there and click protect. Like we've seen that with like Regigigas cores on in like tournaments and stuff. Like all it has to do is sit there. It doesn't have to do anything.
I mean, yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to do much. It can sit there. It can throw Wisp out every other turn.
Yeah.
And then
Mm-hmm.
alternate between that and a protect to just preserve it. And as long as it lets Calyrex go burr a little bit, man, that thing is going to be a monster because that's just especially because you shut down abilities, Chilling Name boost you. You can actually, especially in a draft league, you can invest almost full defensively with that. Assault Vest, full defensively, not even worry about getting Trick Room up, run it next to Hitmonlee for the coaching aspect, and it's picking up two kills for you almost right away.
Yeah.
And its spread move, I forgot. It does have the spread move.
It does. That's something to consider.
I remember that, guys. Wide guard, your friend.
Yes.
Series 8. So next we have Quake.
Yeah.
Quake. Okay. Quake has Urshifu Single Strike. My buddy. Amoonguss. I used Single Strike in a singles draft league this season. It was my first ever. I think it was monstrous. Amoonguss, Oranguru, Araquanid, Sylveon, Mr. Rhyme, Kling Clang, Shuckle, Rhydon, Noctowl. So like right off rip to me, this team screams out super bulky Oranguru, Sylveon throat spray, and spam. Like that's a very nice like lead combo just to do a lot of damage or a back game combo.
You could like set like turn one Trick Room protect And then turn 2, you can hyper voice, instruct hyper voice. Like it's a lot of damage. Because I think you'd get the throat spray, and then the second time you're at +1.
+2, right? I think. Oh,
Right.
Throat spray.
I think you'd be because throat spray triggers after. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so you would move, get your boost, then repeat. The second attack will be with your +1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Team screams
A lot
right
of.
on.
A
I
lot of
mean, like I know Shuckle is kind of like a meme pick. What
is
was
this your
that?
brother?
Sorry. No, no,
Didn't your brother want Chuckle?
he did. I
Oh,
I don't think he was actually going to take Shuckle because I talked to him about it. And I'm like, dude, you're not actually going to waste your pick on that, right? And he's like, nah.
okay. Sam's brother. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something, man. You're officially banned from any video content. I don't care if you go undefeated. You're done. You talk Shuckle game up. I was looking forward to the memes. You hurt my feelings, man. It's
Bro,
over.
this dude has built probably like 8 different Shuckle teams on Showdown. He's played like every aspect of Shuckle. He's played like Contrary Shell Smash, Stall next to like Quagsire. They both spam Toxic. Um, he's played the Power Trick Shenanigans. He's played like every form of Shuckle that can be played.
Shell Smash, Contrary, Toxic, throw in Infestation for more
Yep,
damage.
yep.
Yeah. Oh man. The only thing with this team is its best max is Urshifu single strike.
And I don't love maxing Urshifu, honestly.
And the fighting water combo, it's a little tricky. It's very brittle. Even like just his base stats are not great.
Well,
Uh
this is the dark version.
this so even worse.
Yeah,
Four
like
times weak to fairy
and weak to max airstream.
and airstreams.
Yeah,
His best other maxes, I guess,
Araquanid.
Eviolite Rhydon and
Yeah, I
Araquanid
think Araquanid could be all right.
could be
I'd
decent.
say I'd say this is a team that's like it has all the support options. Like Amoonguss is insanely scary, and like I think Amoonguss is one of those mons in draft. It's like it doesn't need to do anything in a game even to have been good because like all you need to do is have someone scared enough that they use an item slot on safety goggles or like things like that. But like I feel like this team could do to replace one of its support options with like a good Dynamax candidate.
Yeah, I mean, even looking at like uh the past two picks or the first two people, we look there, you'll see like out of my tier 4 and 5, Wishy Washy could max, arguably in the
Mm-hmm.
right positioning. So could Brozong at a tier 3.
Yep.
Peter could max Mudsdale, Tornadus, or Guzzlord.
Mm-hmm.
Omar could run a max Swampert.
Yeah.
And then here, I think that'll either be really good for him or really bad because like I don't know. I just don't love having Urshifu single as your best max.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of it. Like I think like you just said about Omar's team, like Omar's team is different because he has that restricted mon that like chances are he's probably gonna be like happy Dynamaxing that 90% of his games. But like here it's yeah, I feel a little bit like I think the pieces are all there. I just think it needs a little bit of more offense.
Yeah, it just needs that one mon that's in like a tier 3 or 4 spot to where you could arguably picture it maxing and make people a little worried.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I guess Araquanid would probably be his best one because Rhydon can get Lightning Rod.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's like the best to me. That's the best max combo I see here.
Yeah. The thing with maxing Rhydon kind of sucks because it's like it's 4 times weak to grass and water.
and you have to, and it's not the slowest thing in Trick Room anymore, but it's also not like, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see how he plays it if he makes any
yeah,
like moves in throughout the season.
yeah. I would, yeah, if I were him, I would, but I could totally see someone making this work without changing it. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how he plays it.
Right.
All right, next we got Nick with the Reggie Gigas Weezing combo and the Dracloak Cobalion combo. Like to me, having both those modes is like super scary because it's like, which one is he gonna go for? Is he gonna go for both? Because like Cobalion can be fine without beat up, but it's busted with beat up. Um, he's got the Intimidate. Sigalith is a nice Trick Room setter. Yeah, I like this team a lot.
I think Dracolock is actually, yeah, that's a really nice beat up mon. It's very
Yep.
fast. Throw a focus sash just to avoid sucker punch, and you can get a free beat up basically off on Cobalion. That gives
Yep.
you one solid core. Gigas and Wheezing is a whole other core.
Yeah.
Um, both are big name physical attackers. Both are fast. Purloin's faster. Lilligant could be as Reggie Gigas gets fire punch. So you can see him do like
Yeah.
Wheezing and Reggie Gigas and like throw a fire punch off before Gigas goes to
Mhm.
let Lilligant come in with chlorophyll.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think like maybe a point of like a sticking point for this team will be the fact that his two main threats are like super physical and so stuff like you can just kind of against this team. I mean, obviously, like Jellison does damage with Water Spout, but like and Wigglytuff, like if it gets its competitive boost, it can do some damage. But I'd say like the main weakness, not even weakness, just the main sticking point I could see for Nick is like if someone just brings Will-O-Wisp and is like max defense on all their stuff, like makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, I mean Will-O-Wisp, Intimidate, and he is in the Eastern Conference, which has one, two. I mean, we've already talked about two of the four players we've talked about before him have Intimidate, and the other two players have Charm.
Yep.
Um,
But I mean, the thing with Cobalion to me is like intimidating him at +4 moves him to +3. I think that's like you're okay with that. But Reggie Gigas can really get crippled by getting burned and getting intimidated. So yeah,
yeah, I think Cobalion. Well, I actually think we'll see Cobalion used more than the
I
Gigas
agree.
combo.
I agree.
Because the thing is, and it's always been my problem with Gigas combos is when I played it. Well, my benefit, I should say, when I play them on ladder, I always kind of stall around their max with the Gigas at first, and I play around the typical wheezing. So protect turn one, status or whatever turn two, kill wheezing, ignore Gigas. Like
Yep.
I'll let Gigas have a kill because when I kill wheezing, Gigas cannot do anything for 5 turns.
Yep.
And if I've stalled
And
effectively and I have a max now, one, two,
yeah,
three, done.
yeah. I think I think that kind of core is something that takes like I know there's like the whole meme of like, oh, Reggie Gigas go burr, but like I think it takes a lot more like thought than people think. Yeah, that sounds weird, but yeah, and I'm definitely and I know Nick is a good enough player to totally pull that off. I'm excited to see how he plays this team for sure.
Yeah. And that takes us to Zach. Zach grabbed Glacier and Porygon 2. He has Hitmontop, which upset me.
Him on top
Flygon
is so good.
is so good. He gets Wide Guard, gets
Mm-hmm.
your Intimidates, gets your Fake Out, gets your Bullet Punch. It's just a nice one.
It's yeah,
Um,
every priority move under the sun.
Flygon and Vikavolt. He took Rotom base form.
Mm-hmm. I think I think that's a good tier 5. I mean, it's not like great, but I mean it's a tier 5.
Yeah. I mean, I think he got one of the ones that I was fighting with myself over. Uh, well, before that one, also Shinodic and Drapion's really cool clutch pick in the back. But he took
Hmm.
Boltund. I love Boltund as a tier 4 pick. It
Yep.
has, first of all, amazing speed. It's super fast. And
Yeah,
in
like
a meta where,
125 or 24. Yeah.
yeah, like it's a really good speed. He has decent attack. You can run him choice banded, and he gets the coverage for everything. I mean, he gets Fire Fang, Thunder Fang, Crunch. You
Psychic
can run Psychic
Fangs. Yeah.
Fangs to remove screens. You can run, like it just gets very nice coverage. It's like such a good choice band, go in, go hard. Like I'm in another draft league in the playoffs. In my last match, my opponent had a Volcanion, the mythical fire
Yeah.
water one, and I went in with a focus sash Bolton, and I did like 75% to his max Volcanion with one Thunderfang.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the other side to that coin is like I took Boltund uh as a free agent pick last season, and I brought him to almost every game after I traded him, and he had like 2 kills, and I was totally fine with it because I used him more as like focus sash competitive, um, and then just like uh, I mean he's got Snarl. Snarl won me a couple games straight up, just won it for me. Um, gets Eerie Impulse, Charm. It gets Electrify, which is like one of like 2 mons that gets that. So if you have a ground type Pokemon, you can electrify their max and it'll max lightning into your ground slot. It's really nice.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's super diverse.
And I think I actually like that you touched on it too. I think this fast tech is super good to me. Like
Hmm.
anything that's decently fast that can throw off charms quick, throw off Eerie Impulse quick, throw off nuzzles, or throw off whatever it may be. Anything like
Yeah,
Snarl. Super great because like look at my team. Spectier doesn't want to take a Snarl.
yeah,
Especially if you're focus sash and I don't get the kill to counter your Snarl, that's a problem. Or if you're choice scarf, you're snarling before I even move. Follow me is not going to matter. So it just becomes a very stressful situation where
yeah,
you can now use that to weaken that opponent's max lead when they're leading something like that. Or charm if you're seeing the Calyrex Ice or Shifu, whatever. Even
yep,
Regigigas. So it's a very nice tier 4 option to me. It's one of my favorites in tier 4 because it offers both an offensive and a defensive play style for you.
yep, for sure.
And of
Yeah, I
course,
like Zach's team a lot.
Morgrim. I love Morgrim.
Yes, Morgrim was one of like the top 3 or 4 tier 5 picks I had in mind. Like it's so good. I mean, with Eviolite, it's almost as bulky as Grimmsnarl, and not quite, but I mean, then it gets all the same moves. So screens, trick, fake out. I really like it.
And Prankster, which is super amazing in draft leagues because
Yes.
like you can just run Morgrim next to Glastier, Assault Vest, go max, not even worry too much, and just go off, man. And
Yeah.
I know he was wanting to drop Glastier in Porygon too.
He did drop it. Yeah.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. He dropped it for Duskman, Necrozma, and Aromatisse.
I knew he was gonna take Dustmane. I was honestly like, I love Dustmane. It was so
Duskman's
hard to
nice.
give up a tier 1 and a tier 2.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, now
Yeah,
take.
I like Zax a lot. All right. Yeah. Casper. Casper is like, I really like his draft. The Zapdos and the Azumarill provide so much offensive coverage and like diversity because you got the special attacker and the physical attacker. You have a fast mon and a slow mon. You have electric flying, fire coverage. You got the water fairy fighting steel, whatever on Azumarill. And then he's just got like a million support pieces. Drampa shuts down weather. Ice Cube. Yeah, Diglett can arena trap shenanigans. Charjabug switching in next to Zapdos, you get the battery boost and like you just like OHKO everything. And Sableye is like stupid good.
Yeah, I mean Sableye just is annoying.
Yeah.
Quash is just a problem
Hmm.
for everyone, I think, in a draft league because Calyrex, Ice, Urshifu wouldn't get because it's dark type. Gigas doesn't want to be quashed. Zacian does not want to be quashed.
Yeah.
Spikeer definitely doesn't want to be quashed. So like it's definitely a great ability. He also took another tier 4 pick that I thought was I think Drampa's a beast. I mean, its special
Yeah.
attack is insane in Trick Room. Um, what is it? Base one. I'm gonna double check because I don't wanna misquote it. But its
Yeah.
special attack is base 135,
Whoa, my gosh. Wow. And it gets Berserk.
and it gets Berserk. It gets Stab because it's Dragon normal, so it gets Stab, Hyper Voice,
Oh yeah.
Throat Spray, and if you go in the Trick Room, and the cool thing, Diglett gets Ally Switch, but if you get Trick Room up with Drampa, and you get one Throat Spray boost, that's insane. You're already at 135 special attack, hitting like a truck, and
Yeah.
because it's a Trick Room, it's base 36 speed. Like that's it has a 36 speed stat.
It also has like it gets max airstream if you don't want to run it in Trick Room. I mean, I think you do. But I mean, yeah, Calm Mind, Heat Wave, Focus Blast, Energy Ball, wow, Shadow Ball. It's like Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Surf. It literally has like every type coverage basically.
Yeah. I
That's
mean, it
insane.
also gets Bulldoze, Snarl, Breaking Swipe, which lowers attack. It gets
Yeah, Icy Wind, Light Screen. Yeah, that's a super good pick. And it has like the possibility too. It's like there's a couple weather teams here. You can just run Cloud9, just go bulky and just shut the weather down. Yeah, I like
exactly.
that one.
So I love Casper's team. I think it works super nice. I mean, you have
Yeah.
Zapdos is a quick offensive pressure very well. Like you said, the Sharbug connection. Tangela was a pickup, right?
No, he dropped it.
Oh, he did? Who did he pick up?
Yeah, dropped it for Gothitelle.
Goth, huh?
Yeah, Goth is super good. Fake out, Shadow Tag.
Sorry. My bad.
Yeah, I like that one. What was that?
I accidentally hit back and deleted his
Oh,
thing.
yeah, but
I probably would have kept Tangela for because I didn't like I misread the I thought Rage Powder was old moves. That's why I would
mm,
never taken it. But I don't
yeah,
know. I do love Follow Me in a draft league.
yeah. I will say, like Rage Powder is obviously a lot easier to prep for, just because you can run grass types, you can run overcoat mounds, you can run safety goggles. But I mean, still, just like I said about Amoonguss, just the fact that you have to do that, I think is valuable. And
Yeah.
Tangela can be pretty bulky with Eviolite.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I mean, its typing isn't the best defensively. Like grass has a lot of weaknesses, but still, I personally, yeah, I agree. I would have kept it probably.
Mm. All right. And that takes us to our second to last, which is Ryan. Ryan has Valerian, Maractus, Heliolisk, Dustnor, Stoutland, Bisharp, Hippowdon, Aerodactyl, Primarina, and Metagross.
Yeah, Metagross.
I'm not scared of Metagross.
Well, you're not because you've got Spectre.
Shadow Ball go burr.
Also, I just want to say one more thing about Casper's team. I think the reason he picked up Gothitels because he didn't have a Trick Room setter. I think that's probably why.
What's Garbodor? Is that good? The garbage mon?
Yeah,
Why am
garbage,
I thinking of? Oh,
garbage,
I'm
and
thinking of
garbage.
Gardevoir.
Oh yeah. No, he
Oh,
doesn't have a Trick Room setter, so that's probably why he grabbed it because he's got a Zoomerl and Drampa, so he
yeah. Okay,
definitely
that makes
wants Trick
sense
Room.
then. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, Drampa's a beast.
Hmm.
Okay, I
All
get
right,
it.
sorry. I just thought about that, so I wanted to
No, that was a
bring that
great
up.
catch. Um, so first and foremost, a couple cool things here, man. You have Stoutland for Intimidates. It gets Charm. It gets Snarl. It can be really bulky and annoying. You have Helioisk, which can counter weather types. Uh,
Yeah, I felt that from Zach last season.
I remember that Zach used it on me.
He was so happy. He was so happy that he got that off.
Hippowdon, Bisharp, which Hippowdon's really cool here because Aerodactyl, Metagross, and Bisharp, all of those benefit from Hippo.
And Stoutland because he gets Sand Rush.
Oh, they're even better. So, extra tech, you could bring Hippowdon in with Stoutland, Sand Rush, and a Sand Rush, even if you ran Sand Rush support, getting off. And Hippo does get Whirlwind.
Hmm.
So, some stuff there. Get some Muddy Water spams.
And I will say, like, I think because of like Hippowdon's usage in singles, it's like often seen as like only a defensive mon, but like it's got base 112 attack, and I could totally see something like you lead Hippowdon and Stoutland gets after you, so he can after you Hippowdon because it's slow. He can surf Hippowdon for weakness policy too. I did that. I did all that stuff with Gigalith when the Series 6 when stuff got banned. I think that could be decent.
And Prim gets Aqua Jet too, so you could even see
Yeah.
Trick Room with that. And Primarina is so good. I mean, Primarina is on my other draft team. I have Primarina, Clefairy, Spectier actually. Wow. I didn't realize my team was so similar. But yeah, so I have those. Those are my three mons, and like Primarina works so great because I've ran Assault Vest, Max Primarina. I've run Throat Spray. I've ran Life Orb. I've gone Choice Specs. I've gone Lefties.
Yeah.
It has so many functionalities that, like, for prepping wise, it's annoying. Like, when I prepped for it for Peter, I literally just said, okay, I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to just let Raichu. And I ran a Choice Specs Thunderbolt Raichu.
Okay.
Because of Primarina, because I had no other choice. It was just like that thing goes off, and I can't afford to let it have a shot at getting off. And he did maxing Assault Vest before. It just has so many functions that Primarina lets him not even rely on Metagross, which to me, that's what I like seeing in a team is seeing those 2 to 3 combos, right? Like you saw Cobalion and Gigas. It could be either of those that you have to prep for. Over here, same thing. It could be Metagross. It could be Primarina. It could be, and then Bisharp is a really nice cleaner. It gets Sucker Punch. It could run Black Glasses. It gets Defiant. Don't let it get a Defiant boost because that's a problem. You try and bring some Intimidate, so worry about Metagross, and he's going to let Bisharp take that boost.
Yeah, I like Aerodactyl here because Aerodactyl can be next to Metagross. It gets Bulldoze, it gets Tailwind, it gets Wide Guard. Aerodactyl was actually Ryan sniped that for me. I was trying to pick up Aerodactyl. I think it's super good, man, for 2-3 especially. Like it's based like 130 speed and gets unnerved. So like if anyone's like prepping like certain calcs for specific berries or whatever, like a resist berry, it's just you just don't get to do that.
It gets dual wing beat too, which is its speed tier, which is really nice. It'll move first for a lot of things.
Yeah.
You could potentially get rid of even Sashmons.
Yeah. So far, like honestly, I think I like Ryan's team I think I like yours and Ryan's the most so far out of Eastern. Because I just like the offensive options. Like like Ryan, yeah, like you said, he's not reliant on just Metagross or just Primarina. He can bring both. You never know, like, oh, is he gonna max this or is he gonna max that? Yeah, and I like teams where you can lead a potential max option. Like let's say you lead Aerodactyl Metagross, and you realize, oh, Metagross like isn't gonna max here. You can just tailwind and do damage, and then have Primarina come in the back and sweep from there.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Primarina works well under Trick Room or Tailwind really well.
I mean,
All
and
right.
it's
Yeah.
not taking like Urshifu is not doing a lot of damage to it.
Yeah.
Calyrex Ice gets max overgrowth. Uh,
hmm
if it's not max, Zacian's not hitting it too hard. Spectier's not putting any damage into it. Zapdos is still going to struggle. Even at super effective, you throw an Assault Vest and enough special defense, that thing's still sitting in front of Zapdos comfortably.
hmm
All right. And that takes us to our last one on the Eastern Conference.
All right. So yeah, this is Eric. He picked up Naganadel as a tier 1, and then Grimmsnarl as a tier 2. Darmanitan, Silvally, Aegislash as tier 3s. Cantonian, Dugtrio, Galvantula, Toxapex, and Xatu and Ferroseed. I think Naganadel is a mon where it's like I don't think he's super good in like normal like competitive play, but I think in a draft, like his ability to snowball, his ability to spam airstream, his ability to spam max ooze, and then pile that on with beast boost and increasing like essentially helping you live longer with max wormwinds. I like Naganadel a lot. Also next to something like Grimmsnarl too. It's like the support options you get are really nice.
I mean, yeah, it's a special attacker. You can see fake tears.
Yeah.
It lets you invest your bulk a little bit better because you can be behind your reflect or light screen from turn 1. So I don't need to invest into that bulk as much, and I can spread it into offensive weapons.
Yep.
The back half of his draft is where it got weird for me. Like tier 5, I get right. Like, but Ferroseed, I don't know.
I like Xatu though.
Xatu, I like.
Like
Ferroseed,
the Trick
Toxapex.
Room Tailwind. Yeah.
Those two, I was
Yeah.
like, huh?
Even Dugtrio to me was a little bit weird. Like I don't know.
I mean,
I really like Darmanitan though. Like I
I
think
like Dominican.
Darmanitan's super good. Can't be burned. Doesn't need to max to just hit like a truck.
And you can see, like, I guess, fun tech, Savali, normal gem explosion, next
hmm
to Aegislash.
Yeah, and I think something like do have to keep in mind is like normally if you see Savali like on the ladder or whatever, it's most likely explosion, like choice banded or normal gemmed or whatever. But I think here, like let's say, oh, his opponent has a lot of mons that are weak to electric or like water, and he has no water type. He can make Silvally a water type. So I think that's something too that can be
Oh, it's
potentially good.
all of them, huh?
Yeah, because it gets the different memory items.
I didn't know that. Usually in
Yeah,
those, I see them restrict it. Like, you got to choose what one you want. I didn't realize it's all. That's actually really cool then.
I assume this is all because it was the only option on there.
Well, if it's all, then yeah, I definitely like that at tier 3 because, I mean, plug and play, man. What am I weak to this
Yeah.
week?
Also gets parting shot, and I think Snarl.
Yeah, I think
So
it's Snarl too.
yeah, I like this team. I think some of the mons feel a little clunky. Like to me, Aegislash is like a super strong mon, but I don't know if he has like it's got to have speed control, and his best trick room setter being Xatu is a little scary to me. You know?
I lost a match to Zatu, I feel.
Yeah, I think you told me about that before.
It was Zatu or Noctowl. I played both of them last season, and one of them beat me, one of them didn't. I feel like it was Zatu.
Yeah, I like Zatu. I think it's a good utility because he gets Trick Room and Tailwind. I just think
It's not the
like
best.
if yeah, if he's relying on that to set Trick Room for like Aegislash to come in, I think that's a little bit of a tall order for Zatu.
I
But I
agree.
like the team though.
It is a nice team. It's
Yeah.
interesting for sure. Um, let's see here. So we have. I'm gonna let you take Howie. That way I
All
can
right.
say your team.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so now moving to the Western Conference, we got Howie, and I think just from looking at it, I don't think we need to talk about the fact that he has two non-water types on this team. Um, and I think he'd be the first to tell you he knows it's gonna be a crutch for him. But I think and I genuinely appreciate the attitude of I'm gonna make this work the best I can. Um, like I don't there's things I would change, but they'd be changing the core of his team, which is like basically a mono water team. So like, you know, I guess he has three mons that aren't water types. I think he could have prioritized maybe like Tornadus over Dracovish to get a prankster rain dance set. Um, things like that. But I mean, you know, I'm genuinely just excited to see what he does with the team.
Me too. I mean, honestly, I can see stuff like there's so much fun little like just cheesy tech. First of all, Lantern can get Bolt Absorb and Water Absorb, so you can run it next to Discharge Jolteon or Surf
Yeah,
Kingdra, whatever it may be, and have it really bulky, have it run support tech, and just keep spamming your move to do damage that also heals your supporter to help out your
yeah,
back row even more. Sea King also gets Lightning Rod.
yeah,
That's great. Jolteon, pretty fast, decent. Um, 100% accuracy. Thunders on a Raincore.
yeah,
Dracovish and Kingdra, they're water, yes, but they're water dragon, meaning electric is neutral.
yep. Same
Not
with Ludicolo.
Ludicolo, water grass. So it's
He,
not like he has that one weakness that's just like he doesn't have multiple things where it's like super effective. Everything is super
yeah,
effective. The one discharge spam. Like I had an issue with water last season because, or no, I'm sorry. I had an issue with grass because everything I had was weak to grass, and I didn't have like dual typings to resist it.
yeah. I mean, you had like Golisopod
That was it. Yeah.
was neutral, but I think honestly, like if you're going for a mono water team, I think this is a good draft. Like obviously, I think, and again, I think Howie would be the first one to tell you this is probably not going to be as good as a lot of the other teams just because of that crutch of being like all water types. But like really, I don't think his issue is going to be his like defensive typings. I think it's going to be lack of offensive coverage sometimes. Um, but even then, I mean, Kingdra gets Airstream. If you can lead like Kingdra Dracovish and set Rain with a Max Geyser from Kingdra and have like banded Dracovish and Max Airstream, I could see that. It's kind of a lot of setup, but
I
I'm
mean,
excited to see what he does here.
I think his best like just straight core four if I'm going to use it to do it. And I think his water crutch isn't as bad in his division over here in the Western. We'll come back to that aspect later once we finish the rest. But I mean, yeah, Kingdra and Ludicolo is a solid lead too because both of them could be a max. Both of them can set the weather. Both of them benefit from the weather. And then Dracovic can come in after House banded in the rain. I would probably just run Scarf in the rain
Yeah,
because
yeah,
honestly, Fish's ran water strong jaws boosted, hitting first because I'm
yeah,
Scarf. plus rain is gonna equivalent to the same as band, but I
Yeah.
get it off first.
Yeah. I
Yep.
think. Sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
Oh no, you're good. I like it. I just don't want to get too far ahead of myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say too. In this division, like, you know, Elijah's got a Finny. Um. So like, I mean, it's a water type, but it's not gonna be a problem for him. Benjamin's got Kyogre, who will potentially set rain for him. There's a Colossal, there's a Charizard. None of those want to be in front of this team at all. So I honestly, like, I think his matchups are actually decent in this division.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was gonna say. I mean, YG Colossal,
Yep.
Inteleon, that's not living the Ludicolo, Jolteon, Dracovish, Kingdra combo.
Yep.
Behind that, he has Arctozolt that can resist a little bit, but it's nothing crazy. Benjamin with a Kyogre. Yeah, Kyogre can come in and do Thunder, but it's also setting rain for everything to outspeed you. And
Yeah.
Ludicolo is just going to max overgrowth you.
Yeah.
And that's going to hurt. And
And
then,
Lantern can potentially water absorb and then return it with a Thunder or something.
yeah, exactly. And then, like, even looking, Scott has Togekiss, Jolteon. Great. GG, bro. Uh, Charizard, Rhyperior, Garchomp. I mean, Barraskewda there is a little bit crazy, but we'll get to those.
Yep.
All right. So next up, we have Benjamin. I would say all these abbreviations, but I don't know. I don't even know what my own means. So, yeah, Benjamin. Fun fact, guys. Benjamin. He has the undo. Okay,
Oh.
cool. You no longer have Kyogre, Benjamin. It was gone. He has. He took Kyogre as that was the first restricted taken, I believe.
Yeah, I think he took it around like 1 or 2.
Two, I think, yeah, because it was after my picks. Kyogre's great. I mean, it's always been good. It's always been a monster in a format, whether primal or not. Uh, I played a match earlier, got my ass handed to me by Kyogre on my first ranked match this season,
Yeah.
and I was running and it just forces you to have to deal with it. You can't leave it untouched, which gives the opponent like, oh, listen, I know you're going to double tap my Kyogre. That's cool. I'll just click Thunder or Origin Pulse, whatever works better, and my other mon will kill something, and you waste a
Yeah.
turn. It's a threat, man. It's a problem. He has Claydol. Noviern's a very fast Tailwind user, which I think
Yep.
is really good at Tier 3.
Yeah, he drafted those right next to each other, and that was a super
Um,
good choice in my opinion. I like I have some reservations with Kyogre in a draft format just because like yes, it's super strong, but I mean, you got to prep for water moves, you know. Like obviously it can thunder, it can ice beam, but you're never as scared of a thunder or ice beam as you are of a water spout. Um so if you have good switch-ins to that, but even then like again, something that commands such respect in team building, I think is good. He also drafted quite a few fire weaknesses, which I think works well with his rain setup.
and he
He's
took
got
both fish for low tier Intimidate.
and it gets Swift Swim,
Yeah, it does.
and
Too.
I know it gets decent support options.
It gets poison moves, which you're weak to grass. Swift swim, poison,
Yeah.
bye bye grass mons. I mean, and I
Also got
think,
the
but to touch on what
Nitric.
you
Yeah.
were saying, as far as I'm sorry, but
Oh, you're
as
good.
far as knowing what the mons are coming, like there's some mons that I know it's coming. I'm gonna have to prep for it, but at the same time, it's an issue in draft league, especially because like a lot of players are gonna over prep. Like for example, Sun. I had no easy win con against you with the Sun team. Like I really had Water Urshifu, Max Flare was
Yeah.
my like that was dead ass my win con to beat you with your
Yeah.
Sun team. That's horrible. I
But
literally
at the same time, I over prepped, and I was not ready for that.
But even that wasn't what won me the game. What won me the
Right.
game was a Galissapod being ridiculous
Yeah.
somehow,
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
and then a Selgor with Focus Sash guaranteeing two great attacks. That
Yep.
was literally my win con at the end of the game was a Selgor, two attacks, Galissapod, poison something, please. Thank you. That was it.
For sure.
And then I had that one really nice read on the switch in,
That read helps you.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
But my prepping for Sun didn't win me the game. It basically almost lost me a game because I activated a policy on
Oh yeah.
your one thing, which was super bulky, and
Arctazol. Yeah.
yeah, and like it just didn't work, and it's physical, and that was my only win con. But his fire types can burn you, which cripples physical. So like stuff like Kyogre, stuff like the Sun Cores or whatever it may be, it forces you to have to prep for it so much that it gives you as the player opportunities to make mistakes. And that's why I think Kyogre is so good in draft because you can't go in saying it's going to water spout.
Yep.
Because if you over prep for that water and that Kyogre, that might not be the lead. He could arguably just lead Noviern with like Manectric and still do good. And then bring
Yeah.
Kyogre in the late game and just clean.
Hmm.
All right. Anywho, up next.
Yeah. I like that team. All right. Yeah. We've got YG with a Colossal team. So obviously, you notice Colossal. He's got Colossal Inteleon. Inteleon can Aqua Jet Colossal. Weavile can also Surf Colossal. Weavile can beat up Virizion. Um, I like the upper half of this team a lot. I think once you hit Cloyster and down, it starts to get a little shakier. Like, he's got the Amora and Arctazol, so he can like he has that little bit of a hail core going on, but like at the same time, I don't love Hunter, I don't love Gabite, I don't love Dragonair, I don't love Cloyster. But those like first few mons, like just having so many combo options, I think is really nice.
I love the top three.
Yep. I'd even say top 4, I think.
Weavile to me, I'll tell you why. Hot take, guys. Get ready. Eat your popcorn. Weavile is worse than Sneasel in a
Oh, I
draft.
100% agree. 100% agree.
And Sneasel was still on the board when he took Weavile.
I was going to say, because my brother took Sneasel, and I think it was after Weavile.
It was. I was shocked. We weren't allowed to talk during draft, but I was like, no way. Why?
Yeah.
Weavile can be
I thought that was a mistake.
Weavile can be faked out.
Yep.
So you almost have to always run a certain item on it now.
It's also a
Sneasel,
tier 3, whereas Sneasel's a tier 5.
and
Like the
it is
opportunity cost.
same move set.
Yeah. And like the opportunity cost on Sneasel is 0 because it's a tier 5.
Tier 5, get rid of Haunter, have Sneasel, open up your tier 3, add an
Yep.
extra support mod. Because if you look at his top 4 here, and this is why I say that, Colossal, Attacker, Inteleon, Aqua Jet, Attacker, Virizion, Attacker, Weavile, Beat Up,
It
Aqua
can.
Jet.
I mean, to be fair, like Weavile can do damage. I wouldn't say it's the best Dynamax because it's a little frail and its defensive typing is really bad. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you see Hitmonchan is in this draft, Hitmonlee, and Hitmontop. All it takes is a fake out plus Mach Punch, and it's dead because it's 4 times weak to fighting.
And not even just those. I mean, stuff like everything gets fake out, man. Like Raichu Kanto gets fake out. Obstagoon, I'm about 90% sure gets fake out.
It doesn't.
It doesn't?
No, I thought it did too, and I checked the other day.
Maybe
It seems like
Pandora
it should.
did, didn't they? Serena.
Does Serena get fake out?
Yeah, he has Hitmonchan, so it doesn't matter. He has fake out.
Yep.
He
And
also has Alolan Persian.
yeah.
Pikachu here has fake out. Meowstic Male has fake out.
Sneasel has fake out.
Tangrowth can just follow me if you're running beat up tech. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. And then Sneasel gets
Lifeguard gets
fake out.
fake out.
Yeah.
Sneasel gets fake out.
Sneasel gonna fake out its older brother here.
Um,
Actually, though, the only thing there is, yeah, I will say the thing with like the fake out is Weavile's faster than most of those mons, so I think what's gonna end up happening is turn one, you fake out, and then they try to fake you out, and then turn two you can get your combo off. But again, that doesn't work on Sneasel because you fake it out and it doesn't flinch. So yeah, I don't think Weavile is an awful pick in a vacuum, but I think Sneasel existing makes it a lot worse.
yeah, Sneasel being on the board is why I say top 3 for him, just because I would much rather see Sneasel and say they can't fake Sneasel out. Sneasel's pretty fast. I'm gonna get it off. I'll be fine. With Weavile, yeah, it's fast, but it's susceptible to fake out. Like you said, you have to use a fake out. Well, that's fine because even if you fake out, you're still getting hit from something else. And just
Yep.
a example here, because it's the very next team we're talking about. Uh, Gastrodon, Galarian Moltres, Raichu, Comfey. All right. Let's say he leads Raichu and something else, right? Fake out, and almost everything there is going to kill Weavile.
Yeah, Weavile is
Not bulky at
not the
all.
bulkiest. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. So I think it's a good mon and it's a good core, but Sneasel being on the board and with the restrictions in tiers, I would much rather see him have Sneasel over Haunter. That's all.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. I think it's still a good team, and I think he's still gonna do work. Again, I don't see the Dragonair and Gabite picks in tier 4. I think those are a little bit weak. Um, like I think you can get a lot more out of tier 4. Like those seem like tier 5 picks to me, honestly. Like those seem like bad tier 5 picks to me. Like I wouldn't even take those if they were in tier 5.
Yeah. No, I'd be like, you know what? I'm fine without the tier 5.
Yeah, I'll take something that can fake out and then die after one turn before
Yeah.
I take one of those. But still, I think it's a good team for sure. I think there's going to be struggles, especially like Weavile just dying. Because I think that's the problem is like, if you kill Weavile, like you're in trouble. If Weavile dies, he's in trouble. Like he still has Inteleon, but again, Inteleon just gets faked out and dies too. It's so frail. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, next one, a little bit more
Oh,
negative because Chris is a pain in my ass. Um, we actually, funny story. Me and Chris we've had a match scheduled for like 4 weeks straight now
yeah.
for the PBK that VGC tournament that went on a couple weeks ago where the winner gets like $20 or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So Chris beat me. I beat Zach and someone else, and then Chris ended up winning 2 games. We met in the winners bracket finals. He beat me. Oh, dude, it was the craziest, worst luck I've ever had. I ended up missing like 6 moves in the set,
That's rough.
and he just it was rough. He was running Snarl, Burn, Spectier, and just me missing everything. I was crippled,
Yeah.
and so he crushed me 2-0. I won the losers bracket. I had to win one match, won that against Zach. Came back to play Chris for the grand finals. Won that. Like it took us like a week and a half to schedule it. Finally did it, won it. And we've been waiting like 3 weeks to do our grand finals. I felt so bad because I'm just like every time I'm like, hey, ready to battle? He's like, no, I'm drinking. And I'm just like, well, and I feel like, and Peter and Steven, the guys who are running the event, they're gonna commentate the grand finals and the bracket reset final match. And I'm just like, man, I feel like even they forgot because I have not been texted by Peter about getting this done. um, fun story, but anyway, Galarian Moltres Comfey. I mean that's a VGC combos right there. The Raichu top 3
Yep.
are all VGC teams. He has the Gastrodon, which is really cool in a league with heavy water and Kyogre.
Yeah,
Really
in his
nice pick.
division, Gastrodon goes crazy.
Um, After that's where it gets to the ones that we probably won't see too much of. Um, I don't see a lot of use for Musharna because he doesn't have like any dangerous trick room stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I think Miles a pretty good tier 5. I think
Cottony,
I think Gorgeist. I kind of like Gorgeist. I considered taking it after I took Turtonator as like a small trick room core, but I decided against it. I don't know. To me, Gorgeist doesn't do enough. Like he kind of just sets trick room and then sits there. Um, but I like Cottony. I think Cottony's a decent tier 4.
Cottony's decent. I do like Mawile at tier 5 though.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Cottony gets Prankster, but not Tailwind, right?
Yes, I believe so. I'll double check
Yeah,
real
but
quick.
it,
I'm
it still
90%
gets like
sure.
Prankster Charm and stuff though. So
And he's the type of player that loves to play defensively.
yeah,
He has a very big habit of leading, um, like, and it's a good habit. But he's not the guy who's gonna max turn one every game. He'll
oh yeah,
lead that Cottony and just helping hand, do this, stun spore, paralyze you, charm.
yeah,
You're weak as crap now.
yeah. He beat me last season and in like the regular season, and I mean it was an 0-1 for me, so it was really close. But yeah, that's every game he led Togekiss, Cofagrigus, Follow Me, Trick Room. You know, like I had Fake Out and Sleep. Like I stopped it a couple times, but he played around it super well. Yeah,
So it does not get Tailwind, but it does get Switcheroo. So eject button stuff,
Fake
lax
Tears.
incense stuff to shut down any speed bracket. He'll just give you it's not lax incense, it's whatever incense to make you last in priority
I
regardless.
think that's the one, Lex.
Maybe that incense. It gets
Lagging
helping
Tail,
hand, charm.
Fake
Um,
Tears. Fake Tears next to Moltres is super solid.
yeah, big tears. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, you're not gonna. Yeah, I mean, you're not really gonna run the rest of it, and it gets taunt too. Like so, pranks are
Yeah,
taunt.
I think so basically it's everything Whimsicott does except Tailwind. I like this team. I think it's a little too heavily centered around Moltres for my liking. Like, what's he Dynamaxing other than Moltres? Miltank?
I mean, I guess Musharna could probably max. I saw Wolfie use a
Yeah,
max Musharna in a
yeah,
draft league, but it's not the greatest. My issue with this team is special. If I'm playing Chris, I'm leading Snarls for days because
and AV.
like AV Snarl, those two things are and everyone in his league has a mon that gets Snarl. So when you have Comfey special, Moltres is special, Raichu special,
Gastrodon
Gastrodon
special.
is Scald Earth Power, so special.
Yeah, yep.
Um, Cottony would
Defen
be prankster stuff. Frostmoth is special. Gorgeist is
physical.
physical, but
Yeah, so he's got
weak
Miltank
physical.
and Gorgeister his only physical mount, and Mawile technically.
Yeah, so three Mons are physical, and Miltank's probably the best of those three.
Yeah, I'd say Miltank is a good max option, and Moltres is obviously phenomenal. But again, like, what happens when someone leads? Like, let's say he's up against Scott. Let's say Scott leads AV Togekiss even. Like I know that's not super likely because it gets follow me, but like AV anything, and like it's kind of hard to get through
Yeah, I I agree. I mean, but I do think Scott's going to run AV Togekiss because I know Scott.
that.
Prediction. But no, I agree. I like the team. I do just wish that I wish he had like one. I wish instead of like Gorgeous or Frostmoth, he could have like Exploud or Rotom Fan. Honestly, Rotom Fan Max would be interesting because it gives him another
Yeah.
max.
Problem is then he's going more into special attackers.
I know there's just not a lot of good physicals on your side down here in that tier.
Mhm.
My side took them all.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, I like this team. I think it's gonna be one of those teams where you're either. I think this is a team where you either lose hard or win hard, because it's like if you've got an answer for Moltres, he kind of can't do a whole lot. But if you don't, Moltres is just gonna just like snowball on you and just kill you.
I agree. And with
Yeah.
that, take it to the next one.
Yeah. So we got Scott now. The the Togekiss of Death. So he had to pick Togekiss. That's his tier one. First pick of the whole draft, Togekiss. Um, and then Ninetales Alola is his tier two. Obstagoon Sceptile Heracross as his threes. Butterfree Skarmory double, and then Dedenne and Pangoro. I like this team. I think, he's got like three fairies, and that's a little hard. I personally don't really know what Ninetales Alola is doing here. Um, like maybe that's just me, but like I think Togekiss is obviously phenomenal tier one because it can support, it can deal damage, it can do both at the same time. But yeah, some of these just feel a little out of place to me. Like I don't know what Sceptile really wants to be doing here. Like it can't do any unburdened stuff. I don't know.
Um, well, just looking at the team on my side, Togekiss, solid max. Fairy, very good typing. Ninetales, Aurora Veil. I mean,
Yeah,
not only Aurora Veil, Ninetales also has uh Hypnosis, Baby Doll Eyes. It gets something else I'm not thinking of. It gets
yeah, he
Icy
gets
Wind for
Icy
more
Wind.
spear.
Yeah,
It gets Fake Tears.
yeah.
It's a fast Fake Tears user next to a
Mhm.
special Togekiss, and I think that to me was enough to say because he also the thing is with this pick is it was also after 35 other picks,
Right.
right? So Inteleon, Claydol, Comfey, Marowak, those were all gone when it came back to him. So Alola
Yeah,
Ninetales being on the board, I think was a good pick for him because
yeah,
it works with Togekiss. It allows defensive builds for the rest of his team. And it's decent. It's brittle,
yeah.
but put it there, get Aurora Veil up. Afterwards, throw one fake tears off and have it say goodbye. Or do a blizzard for extra chip damage, and maybe you'll get a freeze. But Heracross, Butterfree, Skarmory, double. That's where it gets a little tricky to me. I like the
Sceptile
Dene.
too. Yeah, I like Pangoro out of tier five.
Pangoro is a cool tier 5. And then Sceptile. Sceptile is one of my like. It's like number 4 on my favorite starter Pokemon.
Yeah, I like it. I just wish it was good.
But I will say he could arguably get Unburdened off because Togekiss is going to max Starfall a lot of times.
Yeah, that's fair.
So to be
Yeah,
honest with you, if I'm running it, I'm running Togekiss, Assault Vest, decent bulk, throw Ninetales up, make him even more bulky.
yeah,
I mean, you could even argue weakness policy there with Kiss.
yeah.
Get your Aurora Veil. After Aurora Veil, I'm gonna make sure I Starfall, have Ninetales do a Suicide Blizzard, throw a fake Tears out. Ninetales dies. I'm gonna bring in an Unburdened Sceptile, and I mean an Unburdened and a 120 speed stat. It'll outspeed all of Benjamin's Water Rushers.
Yeah. Yep.
Rain,
Howies.
so rain's not an
Right.
issue, and it has decent like Sceptile has a 105 special attack. It's not shabby, and it
Yeah.
gets stuff like quick guard, so it stops priority moves. It can
Yeah.
stop a fake out. You'll
So
see,
does Obstagoon.
huh?
Obstagoon also gets quick guard, so there's that too.
Yeah, I think it's a good team. Breaking swipe, cross poison.
Yeah, I think Sceptile is like he can also just like Leaf Storm White Herb to get unburdened.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think that's a decent pick. But I don't know, like to me, I don't see the point in Butterfree and Togekiss being on the same team really. Um, and then adding Skarmory on top of that, like you're stacking on a lot of electric weaknesses, and you have no immunities to it. Um, but yeah, I think it's a good team.
I agree with that. To me, I think the guy who picks first has it arguably the hardest in the draft because going from being first overall to picking 30 something picks later, because he was
Yep.
picking one, there were 17 people. So 34 picks in between his Togekiss and Ninetales. That's a
Yeah.
lot for the board to change before it
Yeah.
sees you again.
Yep.
So from
I had
one
the
to
same
two,
thing.
it's tough.
I was, yeah, I was second overall, so I had basically the same thing.
Exactly. And we'll move on to Sam's team now.
Yeah.
So starting off, coughing, good tier 5. Hitmonchan, decent tier 5. Turtonator, good tier 5. Togetic, I hate you so much for that one.
I knew you
Alolan,
would.
Alolan Persian. I honestly, I was really going to take Togetic here instead of Clefairy just
I thought you
because
were.
it was an immunity on top of Eviolite, on top of Follow Me. And it let me have a tier 2 pick. And if Togetic was on the board, I was going to take a restricted. But yeah, anywho,
Yeah.
Alolan Persian. You ran him last season.
Dude, I told myself I wasn't going to take any repeats from last season, and then Persian got to me, and I was like, dude, I got to take it.
Listen, man. Sometimes you got to keep your guys with you for the repeat. Like
Mhm.
I kept a couple of repeats. Why? Because I
Yeah.
love using them.
Yep.
Starmie, Serena. I hate that thing. That thing has messed me up so many times because it ignores like priority.
Yeah.
And like I always forget it because it's not like a VGC like oh it's ladder usage. I'm seeing it every game. So like it's one of those mons that like I forget its ability all the time, and then I'm
Yep.
just like pissed.
It
Uh,
also, I mean, it also gets Sweet Veil, which stops it and itself and its opponent or ally from falling asleep.
Even better. Raikou, Raikou,
I say Raikou. That's
Raikou.
how
We're
I
gonna
say
go
it. But
Raikou. Snarl,
screens,
Bulldoze. No.
bulldoze, yes.
Oh,
It
strategy, guys. Strategy right there. Weakness policy Dialga confirmed.
also can't flinch. It can't flinch.
Can't flinch. It gets Snarl the cripple special attackers. Um, Bulldoze to let Dialga go off.
It gets screens to make Dialga literally unkillable, as if it's not already.
Ugh, Jesus. Um, Kanto Marowak. So he gets a physical mix in here up here in his top
Yeah,
tiers. Um, so first of all, Dialga sucks, man. That is rough. That's a
dude.
rough thing to deal with. I think my Dialga team I used Dialga was the second Pokemon I used at a restricted because I used Palkia first because of Peter and me were talking about it before he started
Yeah,
streaming with the Palkia team, and we were going over the meta and what we wanted to build. And he built Palkia, and I was building Dialga, and so he showed me his team before he showed it on stream, and I was kind of looking at it. So I used a variation of his, but I didn't do the rock polish choice scarf landers because
mm,
that was weird to me because you're rock polishing your scarf
yeah,
mon.
yeah.
um, Shots at Peter, guys. It's on. Week 10. But nah, just kidding, Peter. I love you. But yeah, no, Dialga is a monster. And like you mentioned, screens up, that lets you say, you know what, I don't really need AV anymore because I'm going to do screens. I can throw the policy. And I think that's a really nice flexibility. Because AV Dialga sucks. I played did you see my most recent match against the number one player on ladder right now?
No, yeah.
Yeah, he used that Dialga team. And to be honest with you, that was like it was so tanky. It took a Zashi in
Yeah.
close combat, only did like 40%. Unmaxed, by the way.
You serious?
Yeah.
Dang.
It
Did it
was
have like a
just
steel spike boost?
it had one steel spike boost.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean I guess
So still, it still wouldn't OHKO
yeah,
if it was a
no, it did
neutral. Yeah.
40%. It wouldn't have been an Oko. And it was just so bulky. And I was using Ozashi and Lapper's team. And it literally came down to I got a nice freeze at the end. Not at the end, but I ended up double tapping it. So I close combated and freeze dried because my Lapras was faster.
Mm.
And then I got the freeze on freeze dry, which
There you go.
which was great.
Yeah, that is great.
I loved it. I loved Dialga. Like honestly, the rest of the team could be crap,
Yep.
and Dialga would still be. It's the same as Kyogre. It forces you to build for it and ignore the rest of the team. And
Yeah.
you know, Raikou can max and be. It's pretty bulky as well.
Yeah. I mean, kind of something I was going for on this team is like, I know I said this in the group chat a couple times for the league. It's like my ultimate strategy was take Dialga and just grab support. But I got the Firewater Grass Core with Serena Starmie Turtonator. I wanted to take Barraskewda, but Wade sniped it like 3 picks before I was gonna take it. So I took Starmie. I don't love Starmie, but it's a water type. It's like a base 115 speed and base 120 special attack, I think. Gets Icy Wind, Trick Room, um, bad abilities, but it is what it is. I really like Serena. Um, stopping sleep, stopping fake out. It gets every coverage move under the sun. It gets power whip, high jump kick, triple axle, play rough. I feel like there's more, but that's kind of what I normally use. So yeah, and then Hitmonchan also can vacuum wave Dialga for weakness policy as well.
Yeah, y'all better be taking notes right now. He's giving y'all all his strats.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I figured everyone would like see the Raikou one pretty clear. Also, I think Raikou's like an absolute steal for tier 3.
I agree. I mean, I've seen Raikou offers so much. Like you said, screens. Like I said, bulldoze, snarl. Raikou is one of the ones that like. It's funny too because like I think that Inteleon is more of a tier 3 than Raikou.
I agree.
100%.
100%
Inteleon
agree.
doesn't have the same bulk. It's if you're running an Inteleon as a offensive weapon, you have to get a focus energy up. So it's a 2 turn to start going off, and its speed
Yeah.
tier is really high, which forces it to be a dud in Trick Room. Where Raikou's not super fast or slow.
I mean, it's base 115 speed.
Oh, I thought it was
So
like
I'm
105 or something. It's 115.
I let me check because I know it's faster than Entei. I'll pull it up here.
Heard.
But I like, yeah, Raikou can max too because he gets Scald, Aura Sphere coverage. Let me see. Oh yeah, 115 speed, 115 special attack.
Okay, a little bit faster than I was thinking. Huh.
Yeah, gets access to Max Lightning, Max Strike, Knuckle, Phantasm, Geyser, Mindstorm, Darkness.
So you could man, my nap made me tired. So you could max Mindstorm and then Starmie could use Expanding Force.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I like Marowak was like one of my last picks. I think it was my second to last pick. Coughing was my last. And Marowak K to me was like I wanted a good physical mon. I know it's not as good as Alolan Marowak, but it still hits like a truck with Thick Club. Like, and it gets every coverage move under the sun. It gets elemental punches. It gets some steel move, I forget. Rock slide, ground moves. Um, and like something I really like about it is it has lightning rod. So everyone will be like, "Oh, I can't run an electric." But to me, it's like, well, it's a ground type, so I can just run like Rockhead and let my Raikou go off next to me. Because like I remember you did that. I was playing around your lightning rod on Raichu the whole set, and then I faked out your Raichu and I got static. Um, and that was another thing that lost me the game. Persian being paralyzed, but yeah, I'm happy with how my team turned out.
That was an accident. I can't claim that.
Oh really?
No, I was honestly what
I
happened.
wondered.
No, I did that. I did do static on purpose just because there wasn't a lot of electric from your side of the field. But also, um, I mean, you had the Arctazol, and I was a little bit. I was just pissed after playing against Peter and forgetting my own Voltazorb like 5 times. And I was
Yeah,
like, yo, this is not happening to me again. I refuse to be on another video and like spam my own Voltazorb. Like, nah, we're
yeah,
done.
yeah.
All right, next up, Edward. Edward's my boy. I've known Edward for a while. Decent battler. Still a greenhorn, still young, still learning. A little bit. I mean, I'd say he's probably the 20th best player in the draft. There it is. I was waiting. I'm kidding, Edward. You're my boy. I love you.
But yeah, I like this team. The Charizard, tier one. I personally like I ran Sun last series or last season because I ran Venu Ninetales. And I like that because you get the grass and the fire. I don't love Charizard because I mean if you're gonna pick Ninetales, you have the double rock weakness, the double water weakness. But he took Rhyperior, which I actually think is pretty good if you're in Sun. Um, well, I guess it's the same because you're taking 2 times damage from water moves instead of 4 times, but your Spadef isn't boosted because you're not in sand.
a little bit down. You'll see the
Yeah,
Charizard helper.
Meowstic.
Oh,
Yep.
nope. Farther down.
Oh yeah, Tangrowth.
Nope. Pikachu gets lightning rod.
Ah yes.
Basically, it lets you run Charizard with one weakness instead of two.
Yeah.
That's great. Having
Yeah.
electric and water is tough on Zard. It really is. So having the Pikachu there, which can now take it. Also, Pikachu has a G Max move, which can
Yeah.
paralyze both Pokemon on the field for the opponent. It's a guaranteed para, like to get the status condition, and it even paralyzes ground Pokemon. So
Yeah.
if I have
That's
let's say I have I don't know, Hippowdon, and next to Hippowdon I have my whatever another mon is on that team. I don't remember where that team was at, but Noviern, he G Max volts whatever my Noviern, it paralyzes Hippowdon. So that's
yeah.
really cool. Like speed control tech. It's an Eviolite user. And with the rest of his team, that lets Charizard not need a choice scarf. So it frees up Charizard a little more.
Yep.
Also, removing a weakness, Charizard can now max. It has the fire move, does extra residual damage.
Hmm.
If you're not running Scarf on Zard, uh, you could also not run Orb, and you could run like Binding Ban. So Binding Ban will make the flames do
Oh yeah.
1/8 HP per turn
What do
versus
they normally?
1/16.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Binding Ban increases that to 1/8. So literally, and it's a 4 turn or 5 4 turn. So basically, his fire move will do half of your health. I played a Venusaur last night on a
Oh
Sun
no no
team.
no. It's a sixth maximum HP.
1/6 with the Binding Ban.
No, without.
It's 1/6 without Binding Ban.
Yeah.
So Binding Band makes it what?
Let's find out.
G Max Fire. What's it called? Fire Lash?
Wildfire.
All right, let me plug in my calculator. G Max Wildfire. I played a Binding Band Venusaur last night in Sun with a Groudon.
Nice.
No, it sucked. It was used against me, not me using it.
Oh.
So, okay, so the effect of it is for 4 turns, foes equal to 1/6 of maximum HP. So, with Binding Band, which what Binding Band does is increases the power of moves such as all of these. Where's the effect? Binding Band plus.
Man, does Binding Band really extend that or make it do more damage?
Yes, I believe it does on that move because it does on Sandaconda's move.
Yeah, but Sandaconda's is different because it traps.
There's an item that increases it, I'm sure.
Yeah, because I want to say Binding Band only boosts moves that trap. Um, Increases damage caused by moves that constrict the opponent. Huh. Maybe that's something we'll have to test out later.
Yeah,
That's
that might have to
interesting.
be attested because I feel like
Hmm.
I know it works for yes, a couple other ones. So I don't know. Well,
Yeah, I know it works for Centiskorch and Sandaconda, but I think it might be different because those trap and Wildfire and Vine Lash and Cannonade don't.
mm,
But I'm not sure.
well, either way, 1/6 is still a good chunk every
Yeah,
turn. I mean, except
yeah.
for 4 turns, and there's not a lot of fire types in his division. I mean, there's uh, a Rapidash, a Scott doesn't have a single one. Chris doesn't have one. YG has coal. There's like we've literally seen 2 fire types so far, and we're on the
Mhm.
third to last person. So it works. Not a lot of people have something that's not taking damage and it's residual.
Yeah, I
Tank
have
growth, it's
Turtonator
Rage Powder, Runa
and
Reach, Trick
Chlorophyll.
Room, Hyperior, Weakness Policy, Bulldoze, Whisk to cripple physicals.
I mean, the thing I like about this team too is he can lead Charizard and Meowstic in the face of something like, I mean, like a Kyogre, and even if because Kyogre is going to set rain, and then he can prankster Sunny Day and guarantee the weather control. Um, Even if Kyogre switches in, like he's still guaranteeing weather control. And then he also has Tangrowth for chlorophyll, rage powder, sleep powder shenanigans. Um, yeah, I like this team. I think some of the low tiers are a little bit weak, but like Regice and Glaceon on the same team is questionable to me. Um,
I agree with the Glaceon. I think Regice is nice.
I
I
think
think
Regice is a good tier 4.
I think he gets away with it though because, like I said, we've seen there's literally 4 fire types
Yeah,
on his 10 opponents. So I think he can kind of get away. I mean, yeah, coverage is a thing, but he can get away with a little bit. But it has a trick room element and the speed element. And Malmar with contrary is always something to be mindful of
yeah, for sure.
because it gets
Yeah, I
super
like this
fire.
team. Pikachu's a steal in tier 5 too. Yeah, I like this team a lot.
Yeah, it's good. And that takes us over to Wade.
I'll let you talk about this one because I kind of want to talk about my brothers.
Some shots coming. All right. So
Maybe.
Wade's team, we got Lunatone, Fungus, Rapidash. That's the 3rd fire type in this division. Awesome. Credilli for Storm Drain. So Nice counter to two other teams, which I like to see.
Yeah.
Um, Lipard, fast, fake out, snarl,
Sucker
on the
Punch. Copycat Trick Room with Reuniclus.
copycat. You also get Lipard also gets
Fake Tears.
fake tears. So that's cool. Tapu
Yeah.
Lele is actually an interesting max option. Um,
Yeah.
I played the guy who had the Volcanion. His other mom was a Tapu Lele. It just worked for me because I had Spectre, but that thing was bulky as heck. He got Spectre out of the way in game 3, and it literally came down to Tapu Lele versus my Max Primarina, and it
Yeah.
was just like super bulky exchanges. Garchomp, really fun mon. Scavalier when he does go that Trick Room route. I mean, the
I
Scavalier is beast.
I think debatably he might have the best Trick Room mode of the entire draft because he has the Liepard Reuniclus option. Because I ran a team like this a long, long time ago, like series 1 or 2, I think, and it was turn 1, you do the copycat Trick Room thing with Max Guard on Reuniclus,
Yeah.
and then turn 2, you Sucker Punch Reuniclus
Mm-hmm.
to proc weakness policy, and Reuniclus just goes off.
Yeah.
Got a visitor here.
Huh?
Got a visitor here.
Yeah. Kind of come say hi. I like his team. I think it's trick room speed. It has a lot of bulk, and I like it.
Yeah, I like Garchomp as a super diverse like tier 1. I'm mad at him because he sniped Lunatone and Barraskewda for me. Um, I like Lunatone like as a tier 5. It literally gets Nasty Plot, Calm Mind, Rock Polish, and Ancient Power or Cosmic Power. So like, it gets 4 separate setup moves. Um, the offensive typing I like. It's defensively it's kind of bad, but and Barraskewda like, can ignore redirection for free. Like it doesn't have to fake it out or anything. So I like it.
Yeah, Bearscoot is a nice pick. I like. I think he's probably has one. Like if I picked someone else's team that I would run, it'd probably be like his.
Yeah.
And that
All
takes us
right.
to your brother.
Yeah. So Elijah, he's a pretty new player. I mean, I think he really got into playing competitive 2 or 3 months ago. So he's pretty new. Like he's been around me playing it for a while, and like I've talked to him about teams and he kind of understood the gist of how things worked, but he really got into like team building and playing a couple months ago. And I think his team is really solid. In tier 5, he's got Sneasel and Sudowoodo. I know he wasn't like super excited about Sudowoodo. See, it's good for me to talk about this because I live with him, so I get all the insider info on these picks. Um, he picked Sneasel to support Arcanine with Justified. He got Rotom Fan as like an Airstream user, and he needed a I forget what it was. I think he wanted another Dynamax candidate, so he chose Rotom. Steelix, I'm not like the hugest fan, but he has 2 immunities. Um, Gallade is another Justified Mon, but can also imprison Trick Room. AV set does a lot of damage. Delmise and Slowking both are like a super great Trick Room option in my opinion. Drifblim goes with Tapu Fini, which is his tier 1. Misty Seed, Tailwind, like literally fastest thing on the field, almost guaranteed. So yeah, I like this draft. What do you think?
I I don't know. I like it a lot, but also like the other side of me that like plays on ladder quite in like tournaments is like, no, in prison, no, because like even like Arcanine is not like Galade's got good speed. Sneasel, I wouldn't count his speed down. Rotom Fan is electric flying.
Yeah.
Um, so it's a quad weak to ground, which is like
What
what
is?
would. Oh no, I'm sorry, quad weak to rock,
No,
right?
that's just 2 times, I think.
Oh no, you're right. Two times.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Zapdos typing.
Yeah, yeah. So two times a rock, but less of the bulk of Zapdos. I love Rotom Fin there. To me, I just worry about like the speed control. Like
Yeah.
Arcanine can be super bulky, it can get off, but
I mean,
now
he has that Finny Drifblim though.
he does have the Finny Dripple, and
And that is
Dripple
like,
does get Tailwind.
and it gets Will-O-Wisp, Strength Sap, Rain Dance, so it can like counter weather, it can counter physical mons. Yeah. Um, no, it's all good.
Um,
I do like something I worry about is like Drifblim, Slowking, Galar, Dhelmise, and Gallade are all weak to Ghost. Um, so you better hope you play him in finals.
that'd be
Um,
wonderful. I will
yeah.
drop Clef and Spectre and just grab that Ghost Horse, the other Ghost Horse.
Oh, the other Ghost Horse. I don't know though. Do you want to be 4 times weak?
Hey, as long
No,
as
but
I'm popping off those Astral Barrages, man, I'm fine.
yeah, yeah. No, I like this team though. I think I honestly think there could be a couple like free agent trades he could make that would kind of give him some more diversity. Like I think Steelix could go for something a little better. I think Slowking could maybe go, but I think he kind of needs that as a Trick Room setter for Dhelmise. Um,
Yeah, I like the first four. One, two,
yeah,
three, four. Like I'm really cool with those first four. I like Sneasel in the bottom. Um Gallade I
I
like
like
as I could probably argue getting rid of Gallade too, just because of the shared weaknesses, and you already have Arcanine.
that's I didn't think I told him he shouldn't pick Gallade. Uh, I yeah, his part of his reasoning was like gets a lot of coverage, um, good AV user, good imprison user. But I mean, yeah, like I think that would be the one I'd get rid of to cut down on that ghost weakness. Like I think Dhelmise is pretty solid. Like having 3 stabs is really nice. Being slow as all hell and being able to hit hard, I like it. But yeah, I think there's like things that could be fixed, but I like it overall.
Yeah, like I said, I like the team, like the overall comp of it. I do really like. It's just that one like irk in me that's just like
Yeah,
so to me it's just so I don't know. I feel like I couldn't play that team effectively with
yeah,
my play style. I think that's what it is. It's just not a team that to me would work well if I was the controller of it.
yeah, for sure.
Which nothing wrong with that, Elijah. I'm a very bulky, fast. I don't know. I've been a lot of hyper offense lately, so it's so weird for me if I see even my team now is hyper offensive as hell.
Yeah, your team, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, mine I'm usually a hyper offense player too. I slowed it down a little bit this time with like Dialga and stuff, but yeah.
See, I'm usually like slow, methodical, chess with it, but I don't know. The past like 3 weeks, I'm just like everything in meta and Series 8 is going burr. I need to too.
Yeah,
All right.
I
So
feel
with
that.
that, y'all, that is the Eastern and Western. I know this is a pretty long video, so I will do. I'm gonna do a little thing in the description that'll have like the tag to let y'all skip to this point as well, so y'all can kind of come
Yeah.
here if you don't have time to watch the whole thing. But if you do, thank you very much. That's awesome. I'm
Slept on
glad
that
that I'm not
1.5
the only
speed.
one. Huh?
Slept on that 1.5 times speed and get through this.
Yeah, just skim through it. Your slow work day, driving, throw it on like a podcast, what have you. Um, so I got a little thing here. We got 5 awards we're gonna hand out. We are gonna do the Western Conference first because we ended the list with them. Uh, I'm gonna hand out the Western, and I'm gonna let Sam hand out the Eastern because it's opposite.
Okay.
It's not our division.
Yep.
So the Western Conference for best draft team on paper or on Google spreadsheets, to me, is going to go to I know that music was so unnecessary. Sam,
Hey.
because Diaga is such a monster, and the only other restricted on his side of the field, Dialga resist. And
Yeah.
it sucks, man. Dialga's super bulky, super
Dude,
annoying.
I've been walling Kyogres on ladders so hard. Like AV Dialga just takes like 4% from a water spout. It's
It's
insane.
just ridiculous, man. So Sam will be my winner for best
Hey.
draft team on paper. Now, the most underrated Pokemon on this list. So for underrated, for my side of it, we didn't go over how the quest. I'm gonna look at the tier 4. You know what? I'm gonna look at tier. No, I did something. I'm gonna only look at the tier 5 mons for the Eastern Conference. So we're gonna look at the tier 5s, and I'm gonna decide which Pokemon I think is the most underrated. So let's highlight here the ones we're looking at to decide on. Octillery, Lantern, Quillfish. Oh, I'm gonna have to go. This is a hard one. I'm gonna go Sneasel.
I would agree.
I was between Sneasel and Quillfish, but the Western Conference is very special attack heavy. So part of the benefits for Quillfish is not there. So Elijah and his Sneasel will
Hey.
gain that award. Elijah and Sneasel. Biggest steal of the draft. Now, I don't remember all of the picks in order, of course. A restricted is not counting as a steal because it was restricted and they were barely taken. For me, I'm going to look at what I think made or breaks a team. What puts a team at the next level? Um,
And you're talking like late picks, right?
it could be late. It could be, like it could be getting a lowland Persian at round 4, like whatever the case may be. So for me, I think the best deal of the draft, as far as what puts a team to the next level in this division, is honestly probably going to be my old friend Cantonian Raichu. It was taken in the 5th round.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was taken in the. Hold on. I picked in the 1st and the 2nd back to back. The 3rd, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
That was taken round 1.
Antonio Raichu?
Yeah, I just checked.
Oh,
He
never
took that
mind.
turn 1, or he took that round 1, then Moltres, then Comfy.
Comfy at 3?
So
I don't feel
you
Comfy
get
at
a
3 is a steal.
you think Comfy's a steal?
No, well,
No,
that's
I,
on the
I I
field,
wouldn't think
right?
so. So you're gonna change your answer there, or
Yes. I thought
yeah?
for some reason I feel like I remember seeing it when I was still. I don't think he updated his sheet. That's probably what it was. Steal the draft for your division. Who was picked in the last round? That's super great. Here. Oh wow, Pangoro didn't go till. Oh, Sam Malmar. I think I'm gonna go best steal of the draft. Uh, to Pangoro.
It's a good pick.
I think Pangoro and as a fifth tier mon taken super late. I think it to me it adds a lot of options. Like I said, he's very he has a lot of really good special. Also goes a nice physical. I think Pangoro's really nice there. It gets sucker punch. It gets all the elemental punches, so it becomes a coverage option. It's dark type, so it won't be affected by all the prankster stuff from opposing teams. And he has the two scariest fairies.
Yeah,
So he protected
true.
it a little bit more so on his side when he takes a discount Urshifu single strike. That's what it is. It's same
Yeah,
type as Urshifu. So it's like the lower rack version of it, but he got it at the very last round, and he got it on a team that already has those fairies that was scary.
yep.
So I'm gonna give that my thing for biggest steal of the draft. So Pangoro and Scott. This one's a little bit easier. Best free agency still active. For this pick, it is who on here is, I think, could be picked up. Restricteds, tier ones do not matter. I'm going to look at tier two and tier three for this one. Um, right there. Celesteela.
Yes, sir.
I think out of a tier two, Celesteela is incredible because it offers a lot of bulk. It is a great typing. It gets your wide guard. It can play Stolly with the leech seeds and the protects, and it can be super offensive. It can run under Trick Room. It can get the max airstreams. It can do a lot of stuff.
Yes, sir.
I like it.
I was gonna say the same thing. So now I got to come up with a new pick.
Or snipe. I didn't get the snipe from you in the draft, so I'm just sniping from you here. Um, Next one, my top three based on paper, based on how it looks. Number one, um, and I feel this one's a little bit harder because like the restricted makes you want to say someone's in a top three, someone's top three. But I definitely have to say Benjamin just with the Kyogre Novia and lead. It's
So
stoppable.
is this separate from the scariest team award?
Yeah, I feel like scariest team and best draft team were kind of similar.
Okay, yeah.
So
So so are we including mine in here or not? I'm asking that for when I choose mine.
mm, um let's do three besides the one we pick for that.
Yeah, yeah. That's
I
a
think
good.
that's fair. That helps too
Yeah.
because, of course, Diago would be a problem. So definitely Benjamin. I think here, just because if I'm looking at easy execution, throw a mental herb, can't be faked out, Kyogre, um, water, choice specs, whatever you want, Mystic Water.
Yep.
Novian gets Tailwind up. It's fast. The only thing stopping it's fake out. There is no Reggie. You're lucky in the draft. Get your Tailwind, go burr, not even waste a max. It's easy. It's simple. I like it. And it goes off, right? Easy
Yep.
combo to me, and it does a lot. So Ben gets team number one on this top three for me. Number two, I'm going to go with mm, number two. I'm going to go Wade. I do like I do like the mix. I like the big trick room threats. I like Tapu Lele. I like Garchomp. Um, I like Life Art. I like the comp there. I think that could be a team that does very well. And that takes us down to top three. This is where it gets tricky. Um, hmm. uh, oh, man, I'm gonna go. Uh, Howie.
Really?
Yeah, I have to. I mean, the thing is YG is almost there, but that Weavile fake out issue, and it hurts him in y'all's draft over here in this conference. The same reason with Chris is
Yeah.
so much special attackers. It's difficult. Um, Scott, very heavy on the special side too. Like he has some physicals, but his main threats are going to be the special combo up front. Um, and Howie, I feel like I said, he could lead both water rushers, guarantee the water with one of them, and just go
Yeah.
off. And I like it. I'm gonna go Howie. Yeah, I'm doing Howie.
All right.
That was tough.
Is that all the awards for the Western?
That is the five for the Western.
All right. So now for Eastern Conference, top team. This is really hard, dude. I've been thinking about this the whole time. There's literally like three teams that I'm like, which one is it? Um, I feel bad because you picked mine, but I gotta say Ryan. I just think that Metagross and Primarina is just like so hard to prep for. Like I, the huge physical damage, the huge special damage. Metagross has huge physical bulk. Primarina has huge special bulk. Um, Primarina covers Metagross's fire weakness. Like just those two mons alone to me. And then plus like he got the Flareon in tier 5, which I think is like a really good pick. He has the Stoutland Howdon core. He has the Aerodactyl for Tailwind. He has Duskmore for Trick Room. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Ryan here. It's like so close though.
Ryan locked in as the best draft team on paper, most underrated Mon in the draft.
Okay. So yeah, I'm also gonna look at tier 5s here. Um See, like, there's Mons in tier 5, like here, like Morgrim and Togepi that are super good, but they're not, I don't think they're underrated because everyone sees that they're like broken tier 5s. So I'm gonna exclude those. And I think I'm gonna have to say I'm stuck between a couple, but I think I'm gonna say Rhydon. I just think Rhydon is like again, he's not the greatest mon ever, but I think having that amount of bulk and that amount of damage output in tier 5 is like really crazy, and it allowed Quake to pick up some higher tier support options because he had the lower tier option in Rhydon. So I think Quake's Rhydon is going to take that one.
All right. Biggest steal of the draft.
All right, I got to look at the last few rounds here. Hmm. Yeah, okay. Um Again, I have a couple that I'm like really debating between. Um yeah, again, I'm not gonna include restricteds either because yeah, they're not steals. I man, dude. I'm not good at making decisions like this. I'm really stuck between two of them, but I think I'm gonna have to say I think Flareon. I think I'm gonna give Ryan another one.
Hey.
I don't know. I think Flareon is super good. It can run Guts, Toxic Orb. So it's damage. I think it's another one like Rhydon to me that's like I again like the decent bulk and huge damage output in tier 5. Also, like in the context of his team with Metagross and Primarina on there as well, I think that creates like a nice like triad of like potential like offensive threats. And it went last round out of tier 5, which is like to me, Flareon is like a super good tier 5, and I was really surprised it went last round.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tier 5 getting some love here, guys.
Yeah. Ryan getting some love too.
Yeah, he is. All right, next up, best free agent pick still available.
Okay. So yeah, I was definitely gonna say Celesteela. I couldn't believe that didn't go. You know, hmm, another hard decision. Because there's Mons, to me, like there's Mons that are really good, but like would somebody trade something for them? I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna say Cinderace out of tier 1. I think like I I think it could slot onto so many of these teams well just because I mean it can be any of like 8 types or whatever it get like coverage it gets. So and I feel like, a lot of these teams, like when we were talking about, I'd like to switch this out for this. And I know it's a tier 1, which made me almost not want to pick it, but like I think Quake could really use Cinderace. I think I don't know. I think let's see, I had another one and I forgot. I think even like Chris or Scott, I mean Chris it's hard because he kind of built around Moltres so hard, but could use those like the physical option and he just gets such insane coverage and it's so hard to prep for Cinderace.
Okay. Cinder Ace for the biggest free agent still alive. And with that, your top 3 players, looking at
Okay.
all the teams, excluding Ryan, that you
Yeah.
think have a shot at making playoffs right now based on the team.
Okay, so first one is you. It's Chris. Uh the Spectre Clefairy is just so stupid scary. Hey, that rhymed. But yeah, it's so good. And again, like it could just be like it's a complete guessing game if Spectre is gonna max, if it's gonna nasty plot, if it's gonna Will-O-Wisp my physical mon and make it useless, if it's gonna snarl my special mon. Like it can literally cripple everything. Because it cripples offensive threats by snarling and Will-O-Wisping stuff. It cripples defensive threats by just killing them. So yeah, like to me, those 2 mons alone are like enough. And then like all the other stuff, like your trick room mode and your like offensive coverage, your super fast Excelgor, like it's just like icing on the cake for me. But yeah, I definitely think that your team is up there.
Okay.
And
Well,
then number 2, I'm gonna say Casper. I think again, like I said before, the Zapdos to Azumarill is a super good offensive like pair. Sableye is so obnoxious. Um, he has, like we talked about, Drampa, so good. Um, Even like Charjabug, he got some use out of his tier 5 because Charjabug can go next to Drampa, it can go next to Zapdos and do a lot of work. Um, and there's only really like one slot on here that I'd say is kind of maybe 2, Garbodor and Diglett, that I would like really change. But yeah, Casper's number 2. And then number 3, are we basing this on what they drafted or what it is now? Because like Zach's has changed.
um, Zach's the only one who's really changed that this would affect, right?
Well, Casper, but I would have picked him anyway.
But
Um,
let's go based on what it is right now because we already do know his changes.
yeah, yeah. Okay, then I am going to go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Zach. The Necrozma Duskmane is like literally unkillable. Like it's even more unkillable than Dialga because it takes 75%. Debatably, the typing's not as good, but the 75% damage from super effective moves. Um, like yeah, it can be intimidated and burned, which is hard, but he has like good special attackers here. He has competitive Boltund to switch into or like to take intimidates. He has Morgrim. There's like crazy support. Shiinotic puts stuff to sleep. Yeah, I think Zach's team is like super good.
Okay. So you hear that, Peter? Didn't make his top four. No, I like your list. I agree. I think Zach. See, the problem for me is and this is why I like having other, doing the opposite conference.
Yeah,
Because I would be looking at it like, you know what? Spectier, Metagross, that's a one-hit KO.
Spectre against Duskmane Necrozma isn't like particularly favorable for Necrozma either.
Yeah, I mean, I would just have
Also,
to.
you can just burn Necrozma too, or Metagross.
Yeah, I could run. Both my Spectiers would work in that situation. Uh,
Yeah,
Spectier just is really great for my league because, like, it outspeeds everything here. Zacian, burned. Mudsdale, burn. Guzzlord, I can burn. Calyrex, I
Calyrex
can burn.
burned. Yeah,
Urshifu, single strike. Oh, hey,
burned.
I'm gonna will-o-wisp you. You're gonna go for sucker punch, and we're gonna have a great day. Like my,
Naganadel you can snarl. Zapdos you can snarl. Azumarill you can burn. Yeah,
it breaks it for me to be able to like. I don't know. I love Spectator in a draft league. It just has
yeah,
such good flexibility, and like I will notice that I am a lot more physical on my bracket with the eastern side, while the western is a special side.
yeah, for sure. I think yeah, like that was the same thing happened with me. Is like I wouldn't have said Benjamin's personally because like Dialga versus Kyogre is not a good matchup for Kyogre, um, and stuff like that. But or like same with Scott. I mean, I know you didn't say Scott, but like I think Scott has a pretty rough matchup against my Dialga. He's got the 3 fairies and all that. But I mean, yeah, I think it's a good way to do it where we like alternate it there.
Yeah, I agree. But Peter, you didn't make his cut. I apologize, my friend.
Not quite. You were the next one if it means anything. You would have
Uh,
been number 5.
you'd have been his fifth favorite, sixth if you count him, seventh if you count Elijah, eight if you count whoever else he liked. Don't worry, Peter. You were in top 15.
You were in
Um,
top 15. I'll give you that.
but yeah. So with that, y'all, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, it's a long video.
I'm gonna end the share. Oh, it's a very long one. As always, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the video. We have a lot of great content. Recently, I played the number one ranked guy on ladder currently at the moment. I also have a match coming up against a number 18 player in the world for the past 5 or 6 years. He is on a Clan Wars team. He is a ranked VGC player. He finished runner up at Worlds 2 years ago in 2018. I'm going to try and schedule some matches with him and get those recorded. And yeah, just a lot of really good stuff. So be sure to like and subscribe. And big thank you to Sam for coming on here and doing this with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
All righty. And we will end